start the record. Okay. And then I'll share my screen. Okay, so here you are. We Believe in Comics, the Friday night workshops provided by the Sequential Artists Workshop. And SAW is a 501c3 nonprofit organization with online classes. That's the website where you can find out about all of our really cool classes. Coming soon, the next week is going to be Make Your Own Monster with Andy Santagata. And the SAW program is gearing up for the year-long program, which is, it's the biggest, longest, most robust class that SAW has. I see there's some people that are participating this night tonight that just finished that class in June. So give a shout out in the chat if you have any questions. Thank you to our donors. Your donors help us help others. We've been able to provide lots of scholarships, particularly for marginalized comic creators, and tuition support, etc. So you can donate if you like when you register for any of the Friday night comics, and then you can also go to PayPal or Venmo or Patreon or anything. SAW is grateful for any of you who have some change to share with us. Share on social media tonight with hashtag Friday Night Comics and at Comic Workshop. Roxanne will put in her social tags as well if she'd like to be tagged on those. You can also join us in the SAW community. It's hosted on the Mighty Network, and you can join for free. And you can share information or share your images there and participate in a really great conversation. Thrives on tuitions and donations. You heard that already. Just a reminder, no inappropriate speech or imagery. I did see some families on the video this evening. So we love having kids here and people of all ages. So just take that in mind. Enjoy. And tonight we've got Making Comics with Tarot, and Roxanne Palmer is here to work with us. And here's just a copy of her website. So I will stop sharing. I will try to stop sharing. Okay, and Roxanne, well, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Susan. You're a very good stand-in for Tom. Hello, everyone. I am your teacher for tonight. I'm just going to get my slideshow up very shortly. Okay. Cool. So that's my screen. And here is the presentation, which will be loading very shortly. So yes, Making Comics with Tarot. For this class, all you need is something to draw on and something to draw with. So you don't need your own tarot cards, but if you have them, that's totally fine. We can use them in one of the exercises. But I have done a lot of work in the past with using tarot cards in my art. I think it's a very rich source of inspiration and imagery. Some people really get into the sort of fortune telling aspect of it. I find it very useful as I think of it as like tapping into the collective unconscious. So I think it can be very powerful. So this is me. I went through the SAW year-long program in 2015 to 2016. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at RedrawnOxen, and I'll put that up at the end too. And Susan very nicely shared a screenshot of my website, roxydrewcomics.com. All right, so tarot cards, they've been around for a while. They are interpreted in different ways by different artists. I have a pretty lifelong connection to tarot. My mom was very into it, and she taught me when I was young. She actually came to my preschool dressed as a fortune teller for Halloween to read cards for all the children, which was fun. It was a little scandalous because some people thought it was satanic, but we compromised, and she took the devil card and the tarot card out of the deck, so the kids wouldn't accidentally run into that. But anyway, there's a lot of different takes on tarot. The most famous and probably the quote unquote standard would be the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, sometimes called Rider-Waite, but I think we should name the lady that drew it. There's also the Thoth deck, famously commissioned by Aleister Crowley and drawn again by a woman, Lady Frida Harris. One of my favorite modern decks is The Wild Unknown by Kim Kranz. It's very like full of nature. And the Hangman, number 12, is my favorite card. So this is just to show you there could be lots of different takes on it. So for tonight, the examples I'm going to show you are all going to be from Rider-Waite-Smith by Pamela Coleman Smith, who is really cool. She has a great life story. And, you know, she looks to me like the perfect person to draw a tarot deck. And she incorporated a lot of astrological elements into the standard tarot deck that have become sort of the standard. All right, so very briefly, I'm gonna go over some of the meanings of tarot. Some people may have different interpretations of that. That's totally fine. This is just sort of a shorthand that I've learned that may help you in later exercises. So your major arcana, so like the Fool, the Magician, the Devil, the Lovers, et cetera, those are gonna relate to archetypes or themes. Some people see the major arcana as telling the story of the Fool's journey, so beginning with the Fool and ending with the world. In your readings, if you draw the major arcana, it's going to be more about like very deep-seated aspects to your question or to your life, like the big questions. The minor arcana, just as important, but different. They're more relevant to the day-to-day. The minor arcana come in 4 suits: wands, which relate to fire, passion, creativity, and ideas; cups for water, emotions, connections, communication; swords for air, or the element of air, also relating to intellect and decisions; pentacles, the element of earth, relating to material things, the body, labor, hard work, that sort of thing. And then
Oh, Roxy, can you unmute yourself?
I'm so sorry. Oops. Where did I leave off?
Where did I cut you off?
The sound dropped out when you were about to get into the
minor, she mentioned
Minor?
pentacles.
Okay, cool.
it was right
So
after the pentacles. You dropped out. Yeah.
Okay, so
Thanks.
not the whole. All right, so very quickly, the meaning, so then the minor arcana have 10 number cards, so ace through 10, and they have general sort of meanings according to their number, starting with ace as beginning or potential, then meeting, community, stability, obstacles, change, reflection, commitment, fruition, and completion. And there are the court cards, so page, knight, queen, king. The page is a student, they're a young person. The knight is a little older, maybe more adolescent. They're very action-oriented, going out in the world. The queen and the king are both the sort of apotheosis, the summation of the, you know, virtues and vices of whatever suit they represent. So the queen, except that the queen is more internally focused and the king is a little more externally focused. And it is a gendered sort of language, but don't feel too constrained by it. You know, it used to be that, you know, they would say, oh, king has to be a man, queen has to be a woman, but I don't really subscribe to that. And lots of readers don't either. So now you guys know everything about tarot. and how to incorporate tarot into your drawing and writing. So these are just a few examples of things that I do. We're going to be doing different stuff in our drawing exercises, but these are just some food for thought for later. So one journal exercise is to draw a card in the morning and then sketch it, then write about it for about 5 minutes, then redraw the card without looking at it while feeling free to make some changes to it. So you see 2 examples I've done of this journal exercise. It's a really nice way for me to start the day to sort of like ruminate and whatnot. Another possible exercise is at the end of the day to give yourself a 3-card reading. And then you can apply that to a little journal comic or drawing about the day you've had. Another nice thing at the end of the day to reflect on things. If you're working on a big project and you're stuck on some plot device or, what some character should be doing or thinking or feeling, try and draw a card, see if like the images or meaning of it will speak to you. Or you can make up a story. So this is a, comic that I made at a SAW workshop in 2018 with the artist Julia Gaffrere. And it was just pretty fun. She basically gave us the like random tarot cards and had us like sort of come up with a 4-panel comic about them. So I took the world and kind of made it about this band that hates each other. So anyway, I'd like to jump in to an exercise. And our first one is going to be called 3-card comic. So for this, you'll need a piece of paper or your screen. You need to divide it into 3. And then the center panel of your 3-panel, this is going to be a 3-panel comic. The center panel of your comic is going to be a randomly drawn tarot card. And you're going to draw what happens before and after the imagery and events depicted in that card. So this can be, close in time to the event depicted or further beyond. You can get esoteric with it. You can be funny, you can be serious. So I have a couple examples to show you before we get started. You can see the one with the tower is one that I did recently, just sort of like reflecting on disaster and how it is passed down through generations. The one on the right is a comic that one of my teen students at SAW did, which was very funny. The teens it's often easier. It's often funny to like sort of play around with like the, make a joke about the different imagery. So just a couple more examples. Here's one that I did about the Knight of Swords. Again, just use it as like, use the card as a prompt for, a simple action sequence, and there's like a lot of stuff to mine in there. You can zoom in, you can zoom out, you can focus on one element, however it speaks to you. Yes, this one was fun, big ass stick coming through. But yeah. Okay, so everybody ready? So what I want you to do is get out your drawing material and your drawing upon object and take a look at this screen and pick a card, left, right, or center. That's going to be the center panel of your 3-card comic. And everybody got a card in mind? Okay. This is your card. So we're going to take about 10-15 minutes to do this exercise. I'm going to put on some music real quick, and then we'll get started. All right, and if anybody's confused, just drop me a note in the chat and I will help you. I will share in just a second. choose to draw the center card if that helps you, or you can just jump in and do the first and the third thing. The music coming through?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Roxy, we can hear the music, but we have a hard time hearing your voice.
It's totally okay to do stick figures for this. It's just about sort of opening up and trying to get a sequence in order.
Some get stung, it's worth the cost. I'd love to stay. The city calls me home. More hassles, fuss, and lies. I'm afraid. Left my soul down by the sea. I lost control here, living free. I left my soul down by the sea. I lost control here, living free. I left my soul down by the sea. I lost control here, living free. I left my soul down by the sea. I lost control here,
Alright, about 5 minutes left.
I can lay inside. I can lay inside. I can lay inside. I can lay inside. Can't you bear just one more night? I can lay inside. I can lay inside. Can't you bear just one more night? I wanna be with you. I wanna be used. Can't you bear just one more night? know I hold you tight. Can't you bear just one more night? I wanna be with you. I wanna be used. I hope you feel used and cope the way you do. Should conjure up abuse, so let your lust slip to lose. Just forget the muse. There's no new news here. This world, it doesn't hold a fear. This girl, she doesn't hold a tear in my head. The brain lives on, but the vibes are dead. Corrosively tread through emotionally spoon-fed purpose. Help me is the worthless. A surplus, blank white surface. Help me is the worthless. A surplus, blank white purpose. Help me is the worthless. I can lay inside. Well, I can lay inside. Can't you bet just one more night? I can lay inside. I can lay inside. Can't you bet just one more night? I wanna be with you. I wanna be used. Can't you bet just one more night? I hold you tight. Can't you bear just one more
2 minutes
night?
left.
I wanna
Don't
be
be afraid
with
to
you.
scribble.
I wanna be you. I can stay in your mind. Wish me to stay away, but no sign tells me to stay when others say. Some cats flee to the sea on the lap of deceit. When true blue love meets, this faith will dissolve. This melting control can be sold. The soft touch, the holds, the souls to one another. Dear lover, dear brother, dear brother. Is there still life to be lived in hell? Can we lose our emotions and still live well? Can you tell that this faith has changed? This heart and brain paved two separate ways. Can you tell that this face has changed? This heart and brain paved two separate
About
ways.
1 minute left.
Wish me to stray away, but leave me no sign. Tell me to stay when others say I could stay in your mind. Wish me to stray away, but leave me no sign. Tells me to stay when others say I can stay in your mind. Wish me to stray away, but leave me no sign. Tells me to stay.
All right, set that aside. You can always work on it later. And we're going, we're gonna share, if you want to share those when we get to the sharing portion, that's totally fine. For now, I'd like to jump into our next exercise. So this one, similar principle. You're gonna pick a random card and ask a question. And you're going to end up making a 4-panel, 1-page comic about your day. So, you know, take your piece of paper, fold it hot dog and then hamburger, and boom, you've got 4 panels. So when I do everything, I like to think about what's sort of, you know, weighing on my mind. If it's like
Can't hear you.
Roxy, can you turn your music off for a moment or turn it down?
okay.
Cool, thank you.
Okay, so, all right, I'll leave the sound off for the rest of it. Sorry, I thought it was pretty low. Okay, so for this next exercise, you're gonna take a piece of paper, divide it in 4. It's gonna be a one-page comic. So I want you to think about your day and think of a question to ask the tarot cards. It could be like, should I talk to that person? What was that guy, what was that annoying, what should I have done about that annoying coworker? Anything that's sort of like weighing on your mind. So hold that question, and then we're going to pick a random card. I have some in my slideshow, but if you have your own deck, this would be a good time to break it out and draw a card for yourself. And then you're just going to do a journal comic, 4 panels, walking through that day, but incorporate the imagery and the meaning of the tarot card that you drew. So, all right, I'm going to share my screen again. And okay. All right. So one of these 4 cards, incorporate it into a 4-panel comic about your day. Just a little journal comic, think of a question that's been weighing on you recently in your job, your relationships, what you should be focusing on. Incorporate one of these cards into a 4-page journal comic, into a 4-panel journal comic about that. And we'll do that for about 15 minutes. And again, if you want to do something, if you want to just make the card one of your panels, like we did with the 3-card comic, that's totally fine. Or you can just, grab any imagery you want from your card and incorporate it. All right. And I'll let you know when 5, 10, and 15 minutes are passed. So get cracking. I often find that it helps to maybe not start at the beginning of the panel, beginning of the comic. You can often start in the middle and work your way outwards.
Did you say how much time we'll have for this, Roxy?
15 minutes. All right, that's 5 minutes. Got 10 minutes left. 5 minutes left. Sorry, I think I got kicked off.
Welcome back.
Cool. So it's about wrapping up time. And Susan will help me share in just a second. I'm just going to quickly show you what I did for my 2 exercises. So here's my version of the 3-card comic. I did the 6 of Wands.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Oh yeah, sorry. I was gonna say, Susan, can you spotlight, but you just did.
Cool. So center, we got the 6 of Wands here. In the beginning, it says, there's a guy talking to the guy saying, "You want to feed your horse before the parade?" He's like, "Nah." And then a card, and then the horse eats the foliage. So
What was your question,
sit-
Roxy?
Hmm?
Oh, that was the first one. I was gonna ask what
Yeah.
your question was.
So it doesn't have to be super deep or meaningful sometimes. Sometimes it's just an excuse to like practice doing action sequences. So very briefly, the journal comic that I made is about, lately I've been agonizing about going back to work, afraid of everything I'll miss. I wish I could be ruthless with my life. King of Swords. Each decision is double-edged, but we make decisions no matter what. Maybe the king just doesn't think about the cut after it's made. So that's what I came up with.
Nice.
And
Very
I'm
very
very,
Tarot.
thank you. And I'm very excited to see what everyone else came up with.
Okay.
So
So Roxy, can you raise your hand? That will just kind of help me keep you up in the, good, cool. And so others of you who want to share, if you can raise your hand, that's found down under reactions. If for whatever reason you and your device can't figure it out and you type it over into the chat, we'll try to keep track of you, and I'll kind of give you a lineup of who's going to go. So Cheryl, we're going to have you go first.
So this is my first one. When the moon hits your eye. I wanted to like make a 4th panel with like a big pizza pie with the sun moon thing, but I didn't. And then my second one, let's see how fancy I can be. Can you see that?
yeah.
So I chose this one. I was going to put some text with it, but I didn't have time. And I think my green panel needs to be the second panel. But my parents forced me into science when I could have been in art. And I made a career as a pharmacist, and I've immunized over 20,000 people for COVID in the last year with my staff. And my parents still won't get vaccinated. And the last panel is this conversation that I had this week with a customer who also hasn't been vaccinated and has the same kind of approach to, you know, their outlook. And then he had this funny comment about, well, you know, if the moon and the stars align, it just depends what kind of misinformation you get at that point. So I made this.
That's so great. Like, I love this. I love it, especially how the pentacles get sort of inverted at the end with the stars outside the circle. And just like really great job of like using all the imagery and like diving down into it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cheryl. Bruce, you want to go next?
Ah, I unmute. Okay. All right. Well, here we go. I'm obsessed with this project I'm doing, so it's kind of like the toiling away. See if I can flip the screen. How do I do that? I want you guys reading backwards. How would that be done?
No, if you hold it up, we see it correctly, I think.
Okay, here you go. So I'm working on a book that has these bird people in it. So I figured I would just do something like, it's like me toiling away in these drawings. So it's the 8 of Pentacles, and it says, I can sense the master's presence, grumble, grumble. So he knows that the guy's coming along to review him. So it's, you know, the guy says, has it been 2 years already? Let's have a look at this one. He's like trepidation. Ah, oh yes, fine craftswork here. Not fine enough. Do again. Whack.
Oh,
Yeah, but you know, It's all practice.
Yeah, that's great. I
Captures the
love
mood of
it's-
working on a long project.
That's great.
Captures
I
the
love
mood of
it's-
working on a long project.
That's exactly why I picked it.
All right,
Yeah.
Karen, you're next.
Okay, can you hear me? Hi. I can't believe I did the one with the bird, you know, that one with the bird going head down. I don't remember. It said, so here's the first one. We believe in you. Go forth, little birdie. We love you. Or like the parents. And then, you know, and then the last one is thinking, why me? What are the odds I end up in this annoying cup? When will, wait, what does it say? What will mom and dad say? That's it. And here's like, well, you know, that's that. And then the other one is, I picked this drawing with the magician. This is really negative. I don't know why I volunteered to share because I'm kind of embarrassed, but it says, hey, Karen, psst, you, can't you hear me? Why can't you hear me? Don't you know you really have potential? You have so many resources available, whatever that card said. And then I'm like, who, me? I'm too busy vacuuming the dog staining carpet. Potential, huh? I feel so stuck. And then how will I ever catch up? I'm so behind. It's always a struggle. The house is a mess. I can't see any potential. Magician man, squandered time. That's it.
That's
you.
great, Karen. Next we have Shannon.
Sorry, I'm not too good with Zoom. So can you guys hear me?
Yep.
All right. So I really only got through one. I didn't quite get through the other one, so I'll just show the one. But I had the moon for the tarot card, and it says, what does it say? I can't read it. I'm trying to lose some weight or something to that effect, and obviously I have no willpower. So as I fall asleep at the TV, I'm eating ice cream or something. So.
That's great.
That's great, Shannon. The colors are really cool. I think we have Maxine next.
Hey, Maxine.
Hey. So this is the first one that I did. It starts out with a little bird director saying lights, camera, action. And then you see the card and then he just says perfecto as more water shoots out of the card.
Nice.
And then for the other comic I did, there's a picture of a baby and it says Luke Andrew Worthy born today. And then there's my silhouette and I'm like, I'm an ant again. Andrew, he's forgiven, Dad. I haven't talked to Esau in weeks. Why am I like this? Why is it so hard to connect with the people I love? And then there's the card
Aww.
and a toast to Luke. And I said, I guess there's always a chance to start again.
That's really
Nice.
sweet, Maxine. Happy birthday, Luke.
Let's see, it looks like Audrey is next.
Hi, everyone. So the first one I did was the Ace and Cups. And so the beginning, huge storm, and the bird is coming. The cup, the bird puts the little coin in the cup, and then the weather is beautiful.
Wow.
Oh, cool.
And then for the other one, I did hard work and dedication. So I took that theme and made it into a comic, which was actually a true experience. So here I am, this test is coming up, got to get at 80, and I'm freaking out. And I'm at home studying. And then we're writing the test. There's just a whole whack of people that were writing it all at the same time. And then I passed.
Yay. I love how shadowy the people in the background look.
Yeah, well, there was like a couple hundred of us, and if you didn't get the passing grade, then you couldn't carry on in the course. You have to start all over again. So it was tough.
But you made it.
I did.
All right, Michael, you're up.
Oh my God.
Could you come back to me because it's still drying?
Yes, I will move
Thank
on to Lori.
Thank you.
Hello. Okay, so for the first one, I chose the Cup of Pentacles. So bird flying, girls at the shore with a cup. Bird drops it into the cup while she's holding it in her hand. It spills, and that's it.
Aw.
And then for the other one, I picked this one's about friendships. So what is friendship when you have a huge falling out? And I chose to end it. I feel bad. Maybe we can reconcile. Or maybe I just move. What did I write? Maybe I just need to move on.
The dumping panel is really funny.
Very nice, Lori. Very relatable. How about Mishka?
Hi. Oops. Blur. Blur. Nope. Okay, here we go. Oh, there. I just did one, and I had the man on the horse with lots of sticks, and it reminded me of a carousel in front of a bad workplace I had that was a children's museum. So my story is about that and a friend coming. And the museum was very proud to have saved this landmark carousel, and Arwen came over and wrote it. And so her review of the museum focused on the merry-go-round, which I was a little frustrated with at the time, but later the job ended badly, and I was glad that she had only commented on the carousel. I wish you could see the original tarot card. It looked a lot like a merry-go-round.
Cool. Michael, are you ready to go, or you need some more drying time?
Sure. If it drips, it drips. I just ran with the first exercise. I was still doing the middle card when the time was up. So in the first panel, one guy says to the other guy, hey, do you want to go howl at the man in the moon tonight? And the other dog says, honestly, Frank, I find perpetuating that kind of stereotypical behavior demeaning. Also, I think we're being followed.
Nice.
That's that one. And then they're here. And then he says, who are you, buddy? They're talking to the lobster. Why have you been following us? Are you mocking us or singing along? And the lobster says, I'm conducting you.
Beautiful rendering.
All right, Sandra.
Okay, so I had the one with the cup as well. And it starts with, there's these knights that says we are on a quest to find the grail. And this guy back here has got coconuts, he's clapping together. And they find the grail, and then they're just drinking their mugs and stuff. I don't know if anyone knows Monty Python. And then I did the work labor one as well. I've been having a hard time getting past all the stuff that has to be done in order to do the stuff that I want to do. So I was trying to take a sabbatical this summer to work on my comics, and it keeps getting put off. So I thought this was funny because it has the 8. So August will be my sabbatical, and I'll pick 8 projects and try to focus on those. And by the end of the month, the corkboard will look like this, replaced with all the actual work, and I will get gold stars, 8 gold stars for doing all the work.
Really great.
Oh. How about Shay?
Hello. I for the first exercise I did, what was this? 6 of Wands. And there's the horse, and it's picking out a dress in the horse dress store before. It's like, I do like this material. And then the whole time they're walking through, it's just kind of looking at its dress. And then later on, it says it feels impractical. I don't know why. I don't know what this all means. It just what came into my head. But a lot of times that's how I feel about clothing and dresses, actually, and what women wear. And I usually just wear whatever really comfortable and practical. So maybe that's what it has to do with. For the second exercise, I put me putting like a message in a bottle, and then into the great sea. And I'm gonna pour the message into this little cup of water or whatever it is. And I put it in there, and all the letters start to peel off of the paper and go into the water, and then I just drink it. And I think that's because I'm having a problem like getting my work out and feeling like I'm the only one reading it and drinking it all the time. And I want to share it with the ocean, but I'm just kind of putting it in a cup that's on my table. I don't know. That's me, my analyzing myself.
That's great. I
Nice
love the layers of meaning.
Nice use of your new
Good.
markers.
Thank you.
All right. Umi, you're up next.
Hi, thank you for really interesting topic. I've never really thought about tarot, but I tried. The first one, I was just like copying the rods, and that was it. I just find it like the horse dress was like kind of becoming ridiculous. And so I just kind of passed. And the second one, I want to think about the curling, but this is about my friend. I don't have the words yet, but please let me explain. So I recently moved back to where I'm, where I'm coming from, where I was like, where I grew up, and to see my friend. I think basically like we want to hang out a lot. And I realized that, oh, well, as soon as like we meet up, like she is not with me. Like I think she's, I don't know, she's not present whenever we hang out. Like she ended up talking bad about other people. And I realized, oh yeah, oh, she's been like this for like 20 years. She's never been with me, but I think she wants me to be available every time she wants to vent, which is an important function of someone. But I just felt really, really tired. So I decided to move on because because I have something else to work on. So that's my image.
Great. I love the way the comic flows through the panels.
Thank you.
Jen.
Let's see. So the first one I picked Ace of Cups, and I totally agree that it reminded me of like Monty Python. And so I looked it up, and it said new relationship of any type. It also said divine love, compassion pouring through vessel for deep spiritual love, conduit for personal love, give, receive, our love, heart overflows. And new meaning another meaning is new creative energy and opportunities. So this was me before, and truly was me, where it's just like all my ideas were all over the place, and I kept, starting and stopping. And then this is me proceeding with my project. So that's sort of like what I'm looking at for the summer. So it sort of fit. And this one, I drew the King of Swords. And the King of Swords to me represented male energy, decision-making, flexibility, still open to intuition. I looked up this meeting too. Spiritual knowledge, stability and clarity versus confusion. And then I saw something that said use logic and intellect on the path ahead. And that's sort of where I've been, because I've come from what's been a very gut instinct place into going into like the next stage of stuff. So this is my day of me talking on the phone, and then I made breakfast, and then I spent the day deciding between keep and trash piles because I'm moving eventually. And here's me sitting down right now in front of the computer. And the King of Swords, interestingly, in past tarot readings, has also represented my dad, who, like, because King of Swords is also about financial advisor and stuff like that, sort of like person of authority. But it presented my dad in like a good way. And the funny thing is, like, through this whole process of where I am now, I felt my dad passed away in 2017, and I felt my dad really strongly with me. So yeah, it was good.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you.
I agree. I agree with one of the comments in the chat. Great composition too.
Oh, thank you.
Cassie.
Hello. Okay. So for the first one, I did the moon, and we have the sun, the moon, the snack. You can't have Oreos without milk, so I added some milk down there. And so then for the second one, one of them talked about, love and deep connection and stuff. And today I got back on a dating app and made this comic about it. So it's me. Great Scott! It's the mythical fountain of dating app matches. And oh no. It says, notice, do not drink.
Oh, that's great.
Very funny. Very good cartooning.
Love the Oreo. Allison.
Hi. Okay, I'll start off with the warm-up exercise that we did. I picked the moon out of the selection that we had there. So I have the moon card here in the center. Before the center card, I have two wolves howling, just like they were in the center photo. And then for the after, I have just the moon thinking to herself, ugh, just stop howling. And then for the 4 other tarot cards, I drew my own. I have a couple of decks. And the first card that I drew was Strength reversed. And since my version of the card has like strength, has the lion like hanging out with a maiden, I thought a good reverse depiction that I felt also kind of applied to myself would be me just running away from a lion and not feeling very strong. The next card that I drew was the 10 of Cups, which seems to be about, like coupling and romantic fulfillment. And it's a very beautiful card, but didn't really feel like it applies to my circumstances right now. Then I had the 7 of Cups. Lots of cup themes in my the cards that I drew, which when I looked it up was about choices and illusion, and it felt like a little bit of uncertainty. So I have my computer set up, and because I'm doing a lot of job hunting right now, my website says choose your future. And I tried to include some of the visuals from the deck. So, scary lizard, mysterious mask. And then finally, I drew the 9 of Cups reversed, which also refers to a lot of decision making and trying to focus on figuring out what you really want. So I just drew myself asking the question that I asked as I was shuffling the deck. What do I do next?
Very cool. I love the incorporation. I especially love the computer panel.
Thank you.
Hi, Amanda.
Hi. Okay, so I'm going to show my second one, and for the second exercise, I also chose to draw a card of my own too, which is the chariot. And the question was, will my cat Milo and the dog that I'm sitting for like a month, Luna, will they get along? So the chariot was the answer. So the first panel, he's like, oh, it's her. And like it shows me scratching her chin. And then he's like, she kept barking at me the first time we met. And then he's like, hey, you. And then I'm like, hey guys, we have to work together. The cat's like, I guess. And the dog's like, yay.
That is
So-
adorable and wonderful, like incorporation of your card into the story.
Very cool. Philip.
So I only got to the first through the first
That's okay.
exercise. I was fooling around. So I chose the moon, and the first so that's the middle panel is the moon, and I was using some kind of glitter glue kind of thing to draw it out. Then the panel on the left, it says, it's a line from a Moon song. It says, I don't know much about love. I just sang here up above. And then the last panel is the ocean and a couple there, and it says the Prince of Tides. And,
Nice, Philip.
And down below it says Wayne MF Wayne in the middle.
I like the diagonal composition that you have there, Philip.
Thank you.
All right, let me see. I have to spotlight. Everybody can turn their gallery view on and unmute yourself and shout out about what a great time you had. And thank you, Roxy.
Hey,
Such a good time.
Thank you, everyone.
much, Roxy.
Well done, Roxy.
Thank you, Roxy.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We'll be
Please,
thinking
please
about
tag me
to see everybody's work.
when you share.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was so
Thank
cool.
you.
Thanks,
Take care,
everyone.
everybody.
Good night, everyone. Have a lovely weekend.
All right. Great job posting, Susan.
Yeah, thanks, Susan.
Thanks,
Well
thanks,
done.
Michael.
Well done.
Now we believe it.
Good job, buddy.
It was my first time in this group, and I loved it. Thank you very much.
Oh, come back, Mary.
Yeah, I'm in Europe, so now
it's late.
long after midnight. So
Yeah.
thank you very much for the nice, yeah.
Yeah, represent.
Come check
Yeah.
out Saw.
Glad
We
to
have
have you.
things during the day
Thank
too.
you.
Michael, do you know if I have to stop the recording and then end the meeting, or do I end the meeting and the recording will end at the same time? Do you know?
I think the latter.
Okay. Fingers crossed. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
You.